Hello, I'm Paul from Mostly Off Topic, and we're here with another 10-minute monster review where we cover the monsters in the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual, going A through Z, and we're going to just start to give them a little bit of thought, I guess. What do we learn about the implied bog standard Dungeons and Dragons world from the kind of monster descriptions? What do we like about these monsters? What could we kind of tweak a little bit to kind of get them a bit better? And also, how could we build a campaign around each of these monsters? It's not your typical kind of monster review where we talk about how you could kind of use these in combat or go through the stat block or what have you, unless we feel that it's particularly interesting. And hopefully you'll have maybe seen some of the other reviews and got a flavour for where we're at now. So we're trudging away through the A's. We've got the penultimate A in this before we move on to the giddy heights of the second letter of the alphabet. That's about as good as we get. So the Ankheg, it's been around for a while. It's big, enormous monstrosity. It kind of wants to have food. It gets stuff from the soil, but it needs meat in its diet. I can understand that. Essentially, so what do we know? Well, first off, we know that strength 17 is enough to snap a small tree in half. So all you barbarians and fighters out there with your high strength, head down to the local Highland Games, get the kind of like cabers that they're tossing, and just snap them in half. Show them how strong you are, because clearly you're able to. Now, what we also learn is that the Ankhegs kind of get dragged towards civilization. They're after kind of food. What they do is they burrow around under the earth quite deep, and then they kind of rise up and they rush onto the kind of creatures when they sense the tremors kind of above. They've got tremor sense 60 feet, and they've got a burrow speed of 10 feet, so they're probably not much more than kind of like 5 or 10 feet below the surface. Otherwise, that creature kind of moves, and it takes them a minute to kind of get up there. So they will be quite close to the surface. And they kind of reach and they grab you in the claws and they try to spit acid at you and all kinds of stuff. So they get dragged close to the lands where the pasture are, the forest creatures. This is definitely going to be kind of something that farmers are going to have to manage. Cattle, probably more than anything else, I would imagine. The other kind of farmed animals are probably a little bit more active, roaming around. Cattle are a bit more sedentary. And also, I think that kind of one of the things is it's likely that the Ankhegs could form a point of friction between an agricultural kind of deity and a more natural deity. Granted that they're monstrosities and therefore they're not considered natural creatures, it may well be that kind of the farmers are trying to push them out, and the Druids are saying, "Well, hold on a minute, guys. This is just their way of behaving. There's nothing inherently bad about it. It might conflict with your civilized way, but let's not just banish and burn and kill these and hunt them to extinction." Maybe. So you can kind of get that, and in those partially collapsed tunnels, there would be a load of stuff found, but not anything that can be kind of dissolved with acid, because one of the things that the Ankheg is going to do is it's just going to try and chuck acid at it. And we learned that the acid of the Ankheg does about d6 damage, kind of around, possibly up to 3d6. So it's going to kind of, within a couple of minutes, it's going to dissolve a commoner, a normal human. So the fact that they're kind of the bane of farmers and rangers plugs them into the D&D ecosystem, kind of gives them a place. And CR2, a kind of creature of this nature, is not a bad low-level kind of boss monster, actually. So you can think of quite a number of kind of adventures that are about going out to help the local cow herders destroy the Ankhegs that are around there, or what have you. So there's actually not much to say about this monster. It's a pretty good monster design. It's been around. Their scales, their chitin is can be used for armor. Baldur's Gate, the video game, kind of like had that out there as one of the kind of things that you could do with the loot from these creatures. So how could we kind of build a campaign around the kind of Ankheg then? Okay, that's a question. First thing that occurred to me was let them be mounts of some of the underground race. So they've been tamed a little bit, and they're kind of like, the underground race that can kind of pass through. So something maybe like a Svirfneblin kind of uses them to kind of move. Their burrow speed of 60 means that they move really slowly, so you might want to make some quick Ankhegs, in fairness. But other than that, those Svirfneblin could be taking it to the drow and the driders. It could be an Ankheg spider off. Also, Ankheg chitin, I would imagine it's naturally acid resistant. So imagine a world where kind of like black dragons or acidic slimes or what have you are fairly prevalent. Maybe Ankheg farming is actually not a bad pursuit. So you have this massive kind of like termite style colony, but on an Ankheg size scale. So huge, and they kind of like get farmed. That could be an interesting backdrop. It could be an interesting kind of like place to see any other kind of adventures, just a little bit different from the norm, a little bit cute in that kind of way. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Not masses to kind of say about the Ankheg. I hope you got some ideas. I hope you kind of see that you can even pull something like the Ankheg and kind of twist it a little bit to kind of see how you can take it. If you like the video, please like. If you want more of this kind of stuff, then subscribe. Cheers. Thanks for watching.